Why is RAM voltage important for PC building? When building a personal computer, many factors come into play, but one often overlooked aspect is RAM voltage. Understanding this can make a big difference in your system's performance and reliability. Let's break it down. First, RAM modules need a specific voltage to function properly. For standard double data rate 4th generation RAM, the typical operating voltage is 1.2 volts. However, if you are using performance or overclocked RAM, you might see voltages like 1.35 volts. If the voltage is too low, your system may become unstable, leading to crashes or even failure to boot. On the flip side, too much voltage can damage your RAM and other components. Now, let's talk about performance and stability. If you increase the RAM voltage slightly above the standard, it can help stabilize your memory when you push for higher speeds or overclocking. For gamers, this means better frame rates and reduced latency in games that are sensitive to memory performance. But be cautious. Adjusting voltage requires careful tuning to avoid instability. Overclocking is another area where RAM voltage plays a key role. When you overclock your RAM, you often need to increase the voltage to maintain stability at those higher speeds. Most double data rate 4th generation RAM kits can safely operate up to about 1.35 to 1.4 volts. However, going beyond that can risk damaging your components and may void warranties. Your motherboard and the central processing unit's memory controller also factor into this equation. The motherboard supplies voltage to the RAM, and certain settings related to the memory controller can be adjusted for better stability during overclocking. It's essential to ensure your motherboard supports the voltage range you plan to use to avoid any damage. When selecting RAM for your gaming PC, compatibility is key. Choose RAM with a voltage rating that matches your motherboard specifications. For example, a 3200 MHz double data rate 4th generation kit at 1.35 volts will generally outperform a 2666 MHz kit at 1.2 volts, but only if your motherboard can handle that voltage and speed. Lastly, keep in mind that higher voltage increases power consumption and generates more heat. Without proper cooling, this can lead to thermal throttling or long-term damage. For gaming setups, where stability during extended sessions is vital, maintaining voltage within safe limits is essential for the longevity of your hardware. In summary, RAM voltage is a key factor in achieving the right balance between memory speed, stability, and hardware safety in your gaming PC build. By choosing RAM with the appropriate voltage ratings and carefully tuning voltages during overclocking, you can ensure a smooth and reliable gaming experience.